Hello and welcome to another episode. Really the first real episode of the Strength for Your Purpose podcast, but another great episode coming at you here today. I am your host, Dr. Phil Finemore, owner of WorkFitME Mobile Concierge Physical Therapy. The goal of this podcast is to help busy Maine professionals, executives, and business owners learn more about the mental, emotional, and physical strength they need to fulfill their true purpose in life. I have a passion for sharing my true purpose with others, and I invite you to join me as I discuss holistic health and wellness tips with my friends, colleagues, and even heroes and mentors to help you strengthen your true purpose in life. I want to thank you all again for tuning in, listening, interacting on social media, sharing, 5-star rate and reviews on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And for those of you watching on the YouTube channel, thank you very much for subscribing, for watching. Would love it if you could give it a thumbs up. Make sure you hit the notification bell too, so that you know when new videos drop. It's every Wednesday, but that way you'll get that notification when a new episode drops on the YouTube channel. So today I wanted to talk about something that I've been thinking a lot about. I've been passionate about it for a really long time, since I was in physical therapy school. And there's definitely more of a shift in this happening in the healthcare field in general that I'm noticing, but it's happening at a little bit more of a slower pace than myself and some of my colleagues would like to see it. But we're getting there. And what we're going to talk about today is the idea of health assurance versus health insurance. So when I say the health insurance part of that, I'm not talking about using your health insurance versus not using your health insurance. What I'm really talking about is more of the definition of what insurance is. But let's first look at the definition of assurance too, because I think most people know the definition of insurance. We'll talk about both, but assurance being a positive declaration intended to give confidence, like a promise, right? So it's something that we're intending to do, giving us confidence, a promise, um, assuring that our health, our body will work for us, and making sure that we're not relying on something else, right? We're being more. It's definitely more proactive than it is reactive. Whereas the true definition of insurance is a thing providing protection against a possible eventuality. So think about that for a second. Providing protection against a possible eventuality. We all know that certain things happen within our body over time. Some of it's age related. We credit age more than we should, for things that go wrong, because some of the things that we credit to age can happen at any age. But that idea of it being a potential eventuality, right? It's almost like, if you've got a car, right, you very well could crash it, right? Or someone could crash into you. It's things like that are very common. When we talk about our bodies, those things, those potential eventualities tend to happen to us at some point. We all tend to get an injury at some point, or even just some nagging pain, or whatever that case might be. Metabolism slows down as we age. We lose some water content in our body. There's certain things that happen as we go through life that in some ways are inevitable. A lot of them can be changed though. Okay. That's the soapbox I like to get on, is a lot of it can be changed. But if we look at it from an insurance standpoint of, I will deal with it when it eventually comes, right? It's this potential eventuality, but I think when we talk about our bodies, and again, the way that we're set up, where we rely more on the reactive, the insurance aspect of health, wellness, whatever the case might be, and not enough on the assurance aspect of it, it's not as much of a potential eventuality as it is how big of a deal is it going to be when it does happen, right? And that's unfortunate because it doesn't have to be that way. Like I said, a lot of these things that are those potential or just eventualities, whether it's potential or not, are things that we can prevent from happening. Lifestyle disease, all of those are preventable and reversible with diet and exercise. We know that we can cure high blood pressure, we can cure type 2 diabetes, we can cure hyperlipidemia or high cholesterol, obesity, uh, many types of heart failure, heart attack, strokes. I mean, there are certainly things that just happen that are just unfortunate. But a lot of these things can be prevented. And even when we do have them, instead of just kind of putting a band-aid over the situation, we can cure them. We don't have to manage them, that insurance mindset. We can actually cure them. We just have to go about it the right way and probably have some guidance and support to do that along the way as well. So when we think about assurance, let's apply it to another area of life. Like we already brought up the car insurance idea, right? So here in the great state of Maine, we have to do yearly inspections of our vehicles, right? We've got to go in, make sure everything's where it's at. And if there are signs that certain things are going on that vehicle that are essential for safety of driving the vehicle on the road, not only for you as the driver, but the other people and the other cars around you, you got to get that fixed before it goes, right? Whether that's your tie rod ends or there's a certain amount of rust or brakes or tires or whatever the case might be, you have to, it gets to a certain point where they say, in order for us to say this vehicle is safe to drive, you have to get these things fixed. We do that yearly. Now, yearly, we go to the doctor. Well, most of us do go to the doctor and get a physical. And that's a very good overall look at things, a very general look at things. And obviously other things are investigated as they need to be. However, we're not getting all of the systems of our body looked at kind of with a fine tooth comb to make sure that there aren't risk factors that could lead to more serious things, right? Obviously we do blood work and things like that, and that's what that is aimed at. And don't get me wrong, the doctors do a very good job in those physicals. If there is something that shows up, even if we're not feeling bad, but they see something in that blood work and some of their testing where, hey, we definitely need to go look at that, they will. However, when it comes to our body, our movement habits, I really think that's where the boat is missed a little bit. Because I find, actually, I just worked with someone just the other day, just yesterday, that as we got talking, did have, I got a little off and on nagging issue here. I got this little ache and pain here. Yeah, I do get a little bit of sciatica here and there. But it's usually attributed to these things and it goes away. But when we did further testing, there are a lot of areas that person needed to improve or could improve upon that are the same areas that would be weak or tight or not working quite the way that they should be, that I would see in someone who had an active bout of pain that wasn't going away on its own, right? So over time, those types of imbalances in our body kind of wear on things and can turn into a problem. But if we're able to start working on those imbalances before that condition really becomes a problem, we have a real good chance at making sure it doesn't become a problem. That's assurance, assuring that our body right now, which is working well, isn't causing us much problem. If it is, it comes and goes, it's gone quickly. I know a couple things I can do to take it away. We might be able to make sure that you never have to try to take it away again. We might be able to ensure or assure that your body is at its peak day-to-day performance right now. We can probably get it better than it is right now. And again, that can be done through just general exercise, walking programs combined with good strength stability programs, weight training, things like that. It doesn't necessarily have to be a physical therapy route. That's the scope I'm using, is that's the scope that I know. But if we shifted our focus more on assessing, not just in a one visit per year situation with a doctor who looks at things in a very, very, very generally, but we actually went through each of these systems of our body with some of the experts out there that know what to look for, and said, hey, these are some things that we're seeing. These are some ways we can improve and make sure that this doesn't progress into more of a problem. I think that could go a long way for us in making sure that we're not getting to those potential eventualities that we talked about with the health insurance, the reactive side of things. So it's something I'm very passionate about, and there are a lot of people out there that can help you those things, whether it's from a diet perspective, whether it's from, again, a pain or movement perspective, exercise perspective, whatever the case might be. We've talked to a lot of them here on this podcast, and we've got a few other interviews kind of appear over the next couple of weeks that help, that they're going to help you with those things as well. But I had heard that term, and actually, even backing up a little bit, I wish I could remember exactly where or who I heard that health insurance versus health assurance term from, because I would love to give full credit there. This isn't something I just came up with on my own off the top of my head, but I really think that we all, healthcare, wellness professionals, all could do a much better job trying to push and promote the idea of preventative care. And there are certainly plenty of folks out there in all those different realms I just mentioned that are incredibly qualified to help you with that preventative care model, give you a little more assurance that your body, your number one asset in your life, your health and your body, and its health can give you the greatest return on investment. Because that's what health assurance or preventative care is. It's an investment to ensure that your number one asset can give you the best return on investment possible, which is making sure that your ability to earn a living, your ability to enjoy the life you've built by working so hard to earn that living, isn't disrupted from something that is fully preventable, super treatable, and very, very preventable, whether that be pain, whether that be weight, whether that be diabetes, what any of those things that we've mentioned so far today. Getting that help ahead of time and going down that rabbit hole and taking the initiative to make that, whether it be time investment, financial investment, both, to prevent something that can be prevented, can go a really long way to improving not only your health, but once you're feeling better, moving better, and that assurance, being assured that those things are taken care of. I mean, that can take a lot of weight off your shoulders. I mean, just think about that for a second. If you knew right now that by working on, I don't know, a handful of things that aren't going to take up too much of your time, actually, in the grand scheme of things, could make sure that your back's not going to bother you again, could make sure that, I know I can go hang out with the kids or grandkids and run around in the yard and play, and you get down on the floor and do anything with them, and not have to worry about what's going to happen when I get up. How long can I stay down here? Right. All of those things that might stress you out about some of those situations, you don't need to be stressed out about, because you've got that handled. You've got that under control, taking some control back there, taking a lot of that stress off your plate in those situations, I think can go a long way to not only helping your physical health, but also your mental and emotional health too. We're bringing it full circle here on the Strength for Your Purpose podcast, bringing all those things together to make you the happiest, healthiest, and wealthiest version of yourself possible. And I hope that you all can kind of reflect on that and mull that over a little bit. And if you have questions about that, or even something you think like, hey, how can I go about this? Who's the best person to reach out to for prevention in this area or that area, please reach out to me. You can either reach out to me directly. All my information is in the show notes. You can also email the podcast at strengthofpurposepod@gmail.com, and can get back to you that way, but you can reach out to me directly. All that information is in the show notes. So I would love to chat with you more about that if you have further questions. That is all I have today on the Strength for Your Purpose podcast. Really appreciate you tuning in. Please be a friend and tell a friend if you got some value out of this. Growing this podcast through word of mouth and just getting this information out to people is what we're all about. So sharing it with people, leaving that 5-star rate and review. If you would like to watch over on YouTube, please subscribe, hit that notification bell, hit the thumbs up button of this video, share that with a friend as well. Really appreciate that. Can't thank you enough for spending your time with us today, and hope you have an absolutely fantastic day. We will see you back here next time for another great episode of the Strength for Your Purpose podcast. Thanks, everybody.